After 25 years in marketing and business development, I've realized that there are 9 essential components that every business must define if they expect to be scalable and endure into the future. What I'm going to show you today is an example of those 9 pillars using a real estate agent. I'm Mark DeGrasse, founder of AI Branding Academy. And here at the Academy, what we try to do is help businesses define core elements that will help them use AI to scale. Now, we don't want to replace humans. What we want to do is just create consistency using AI to essentially do the robot work that humans should be doing anyways. And the idea is that if we could define these elements, we're going to maintain the owner's vision and we're going to allow them to scale their operations without having to add as many people as you would in the past. So today I'm going to be going through a fictitious real estate agent, and we're going to use a GPT that I created. It's kind of a hack. We actually have 9 separate GPTs for each of these elements, which are partners who will help you execute, or you can take our course to get those done. But if you want to just bust them out, in about 10 minutes, this tool will actually help you do that. So let's go ahead and walk through the process right now. All right, so this is the definition of brand pillars. Go and check that out on our website. I'll include a link to this in the description. But these are the 9 core elements of the brand pillars. Brand name, brand summary, brand vision, brand slogan, core brand values, core brand offer, brand voice, brand avatar, and customer avatar. Now, there's nothing special about these terms. We've probably seen people talk about them, dozens or hundreds of times. All I did was basically define the ones that I had to have in order to do business consulting or marketing consulting for my clients. So if I don't have this information, I can't really do anything in terms of strategy and execution, and I have to rely on guesses, which you don't want your consultants to do. So I had to define these things, and I found that these are the 9. If you just have these 9 things, you get 95% of your work done in both marketing and operations, because all of these things affect both. All right, so let's go ahead and build them for our fictitious real estate agent. So his name is Jordan Blake. He does luxury real estate for tech entrepreneurs moving into the Austin area. Austin is the new Silicon Valley, so I figured it was relevant. So we have a little bio here. We have a location, name, and a specialization. There's a picture of Jake right there, or Jordan, sorry. And now we're going to use this information and just this in order to create those brand pillars. Now, you need to answer these honestly. So I'm just going to answer them, fictitiously. But remember, be as honest as possible when you do this, and your brand pillars will be better. So we're going to access what I call the brand pillar creator. This is kind of the scaled back version of our, real process for creating brand pillars. Brand pillars, if you meet with one of our professionals, you could probably get done in like 90 minutes, maybe 3 hours. It depends on how many decision makers you have. But if it's just one person, 90 minutes is solid. So go ahead and check that out. But this is the cheat code for getting it done super fast. So I'm going to just click on, I need my brand pillars. This is a custom GPT made in ChatGPT. You actually don't need a paid account in order to access this. Just go to the link and you'll have access to it. What's the name of your brand? I'm going to say personal brand for Jordan Blake. What industry is your brand in? I'm going to say real estate. Actually, I'm going to put a specialization. And this is an important note. You do want to say, what you do, and then kind of who you sell to. Just kind of give it some vague understanding. If you know your sub niche, do it, but be as descriptive as possible. It's AI. It will interpret what you're trying to say. All right. Question 3. What do you sell? Obviously, luxury residential real estate. Please write any additional details. And this is where you can just drop in a link to your website. You have an About Us page, your LinkedIn, whatever you want to do. In this case, I do have a short bio, so I'm just going to copy this whole thing and I'm going to paste it in here. But if you do have a website, go ahead and put the website. It should be pretty close. Okay, review the following brand types and select one that fits. Jordan Blake's brand best. If you're unsure, I can suggest one for you. And here you have. Now, these are the 12 most common, successful brands in the world. We came up with these 12 categories based on them. And you might not know what a visionary brand is or an eco-conscious brand is. And you could just ask it. You could say, can you please provide examples of what these types are? And this is actually a good way to show what AI does because AI is not restrictive like, standard software where, if the software can't do it, it just can't do it. AI will actually work around the user rather than the user having to work around the software. But here you go. So now we have examples. Great if you're pioneering. We have, just a short definition and so on and so forth. For him, I'm going to probably say a premium brand, exclusivity, luxury, and refinement. That fits really well. So I'm going to say three. Now, if you keep on having questions, just ask, and you can combine, brand types. I wouldn't though. The more you dedicate yourself to one vision, the better your brand's going to turn out. Okay, brand pillar one. Now it's going to go through each one of the brand pillars, and we're going to have options for each one. Okay, so here are three refined options for acceptable name formats based on Jordan Blake Real Estate, JB Lux Properties, Jordan Blake Austin Luxury Homes. And this matters. So even though technically Jordan Blake is the brand name, if I put Jordan Blake Real Estate, Jordan Blake Lux Properties, it does make a difference in terms of how you'll show up online. So don't be casual about this or think that your name is good enough because the more you add to it, the better. I'm going to say three. I like how it has that phrase and it actually looks like, a keyword description that you'd see, for a web page. All right, brand summary. Here are three powerful summary options to encapsulate the brand. Jordan Blake is Austin's elite real estate partner for tech entrepreneurs, merging innovation, discretion, and high-end property expertise to deliver an unparalleled buying experience. Wow, that's solid. And you could actually, if you feel like, I don't know yet, usually we put, again, during our professional process, we do the brand summary last because we want to make sure that everything is done before then. For this one though, we'll go ahead and just say one so we keep the ball moving. All right. Looks good. Brand pillar or brand vision. Now, your brand vision is a big thing. Now, you might have a goal in mind in terms of money. It's not going to inspire anybody under you that you want to be a billionaire. What would inspire people is, hey, I want to sell 50 properties by 2028. Something definable instead of, ambitious and based on greed. We want to help people find their dream homes. We want people to stay in their homes for 20 years. It has to be quantifiable and it has to be ambitious. Make sure it's both of those things. And these are just options. But feel free to change these numbers however you see. By 2030, Jordan Blake would be the number one choice for luxury real estate among Austin's tech elite, closing over 1 billion in transactions while redefining what high-end service looks like in the digital age. Wow, 1 billion by 2030, 5 years. No, it's not unrealistic. He's selling, 20, $30 million houses. Okay, to become the trusted name in Austin luxury real estate for tech entrepreneurs by 2028, offering seamless strategic and private home buying experience from first viewing to final signature. Pretty cool. Transform luxury real estate, helping 500 plus tech entrepreneurs find their perfect property by 2030. That's solid. Okay, so I'm going to go with three. But again, you probably have an idea. I'm just saying if you don't base it solely on money. Solely on money, there's no soul in that. So don't do that. Find something a little bit better in order to define because people will resonate more with brand vision that looks like this versus just money based. All right, here are three slogan options. Now, slogans, I always say that they should do one of two things. They should either, elaborate on what your brand name is, or it should define what your brand is if your brand name is too abstract. So let's say like Uber. Uber never meant anything until they did a bunch of advertising and convinced people that Uber meant easy taxi. Right. So, in terms of a company that has an abstract name, I always say it should be, your slogan should actually do the heavy lifting in terms of telling people what your brand is if your brand name doesn't do that. So in this case, if I just said Jordan Blake, that wouldn't mean anything to anybody. So, we would want to add to that. Now, we did say Lux Real Estate or whichever one we chose, but, you get the idea. So if, again, define it, have the slogan define your brand if a brand name doesn't. Okay, luxury real estate tailored for tech. That's pretty cool. Austin Homes for the visionary class. Ooh, that might resonate with that group of people. Where innovation meets indulgence. Oh, that's awesome. I kind of like two. I think it's obnoxious, but go bold. And you'll hear me say this in all these videos. Be bold with your branding. Nobody cares that you look like you fit in. You have to stand out. All right. Core brand values. So there are different types of core brand values. When you do it, it's not just, you want to save the world and you want to help everybody and blah blah blah. Theme your brand values. If you theme your brand values, they're much more likely to remember them, one, and they make them more effective. And we always recommend you only have like 5 to 7 max. If you can. And so here's, I actually gave 3 options of 3 different categories of core brand values: customer centric, product centric, and growth centric. I would probably say customer centric. That's how real estate usually goes. Discretion, precision, personalization, efficiency, and commitment. All right. That's customer centric. It's all about taking care of the customer. I think that sounds good. Now, again, you don't have to stop here. You can ask it questions. You can say, what are the other themes? Just ask it, and it knows all the answers. I loaded it with all the data. So I'm just going to say option 1 for now. All right. Brand pillar 6, core brand offer. Again, now the core brand offer sounds like the brand summary, but it really just defines the offer. The offer is, what do you sell? Tell me what you sell. I don't care that you spread love around the world. How do you do that? And how do you make money? And mostly, how mainly do you make money? Most companies, 80-20 rule applies. You're going to get, 80% of your income from 20% of your products. Maybe one of the products. That's not uncommon. So just go with the one that you sell, not the one you plan on selling in the future, or your whole product suite of 10,000 SKUs if you're making most of your money off of 20. Just talk about the 20. All right. Ultra personalized high-end real estate services protect entrepreneurs relocating or upgrading in Austin with unmatched discretion, precision, tech smart efficiency. Love it. Exclusive access to Austin's most coveted luxury properties delivered with white glove service, strategic insight, and deep understanding of the tech-driven lifestyle. Oh, that's cool. And it's also customer-centric. So I'm going to go with 2. But again, it'll give you as many options as you want. So just keep on going if you don't see what you want. All right. Brand voice. Now, brand voice is extremely important. Now, brand voice is going to be incorporated into your marketing, into your internal documentation, into your pitches, into your videos, into your ads. I mean, it's huge. So don't kind of skim on this. It should sound like you. You should like it, and it should be defined as much as possible. So if you are a certain way, like, oh, I'm goofy but I'm professional, then say that, and it'll come up with a brand voice. And this is, again, we have a much longer brand voice template, but this is the basic one, and it's enough to get by. So go and check this out, and just go with the one that sounds like you. Don't try to be something you're not. People will find out. Nobody likes a faker. So make sure that it resonates with who you are and what you do. Don't fake it. So tell it, if you're tech smart, tech focused, if you're a connoisseur, if you are discreet, you're like a spy, then go ahead and say that and have your brand voice reflect it. Again, if you're not a funny person, don't say funny. It's not going to work. Okay, so I'm going to go with option 1. Jordan Blake sounds like a kind of spy character in a novel. So I'm going to go with 1. All right. Great choice. Polished, composed, confident, concise, high impact language, minimal fluff, trusted insider, who knows the market better than anybody. That sounds awesome. Brand avatar. Now, the brand avatar, think of it like your brand mascot. If it's a personal brand, it's you. You don't need a mascot. If it's for your company, you do need a mascot. And the reason behind this is because operationally, it's good to have your employees think of the brand avatar of, okay, this is the brand avatar. What would the brand say right now? And they could think of the embodiment of the brand rather than your list of information, which they aren't going to read. So you want them to think, hey, oh yeah, Jordan Blake. What would Jordan Blake do here? And so that's in this case, it's you. So this would be the ambassador spokesperson option. But if you're quiet, you don't actually want to be known. You're building a brand. It's very secretive. Then you might want to go with something else. In this case, it's a spokesperson. So we're just going to do option 1. There we go. Customer avatar. Now, customer avatar is very important, and it's personified. It's supposed to sound like a person. If it doesn't sound like a person, most of the time it's not going to work. So make sure, if you say like it's a demographic, oh, it's 45 to 65-year-old successful men from California who blah 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 blah. Boring. Doesn't help with marketing. I want to be able to visualize my ideal customer, and then I can understand what to do. Okay, so now this is your typical, some of it's your typical, kind of demographics, but then we have lifestyle, we have their pain points, we have their aspirations, we have their values. So, and again, this is the light version. So it's still much more helpful than, say, a demographic, but you can get a lot more detailed, which is what we do at the Academy. Okay, so product powerhouse, female, already in Austin, director of product in a unicorn tech company, 450 plus. Let's see, Raj, the serial entrepreneur, split between NYC and Austin, investor and startup advisor, 1 million plus. We're aiming for, I think I said the 500. So if you're going for volume, I would probably go for this one, Ethan Chen. But if you're going for the big dogs, the 10 to $100 million property sales, you're probably looking for a Raj because a million plus is what you're going to need to afford that. Just the property taxes. It's a lot. So I'm going to go with 3. And there you go. So now what's doing is going to give you an option to download the brand pillar sheet. Now I'm just going to include this. I'm just going to say, please deliver brand pillars in a text table. And it's going to give me all of them at once. Now, when you get all the answers, use this. This is our brand pillars workbook. You could save them in here. And the reason why I do, Google Docs most of the time is because I want to be able to copy this and paste it. Because anytime I do any prompt, I want the AI to understand my business first rather than making up some random crap based on the average answer. So always, build your workbook and then go ahead and load it into every AI that you use, and the answers will be phenomenally better. All right, so there you have it. We have our brand pillars for Jordan Blake, the fictitious real estate agent in Austin, Texas. And they look solid. You could see if you just start with that bio that we had, which was a couple paragraphs and sounded pretty generic. And all of a sudden we have this very defined, very specific brand that's catering to a specific party. He's going to be way better and better. And this is why, we call it AI branding, because we're going to load this into AI and we're going to ensure that everything that we create with AI is now branded using these brand pillars rather than random prompts that we put in to generate our social media posts and our emails and our email campaigns and our ads and all these different elements, even your onboarding documents, your employee manuals, like all that kind of stuff. If you start with your brand pillars, it's all going to be based on your values, based on what you sell. It's going to be so much better. So that's your example for today. And we'll have more of these. So please come back and check out other examples if you're looking to improve your brand for the future.